Hey all, I'm the Flameclaw,
I'm Stephen.
I'm Chris.
and welcome to the FlameHisWorld playthrough of Pokémon Y. And yes, it is just Pokémon Y, there's no version thing. When did they drop that? It was this thing, wasn't it, that they dropped calling them like Pokémon Black version, Pokémon White version, I think.
Yes, I think it was this.
Okay, well that's cool. So going into this, I should say Pokemon X and Y, Gen 6, probably maybe my favourite, tied with 2. I know this is an unpopular opinion, a lot of people kind of see Y as like a lesser game compared to the Gen 5 that preceded it. I disagree, but we'll get into that over time. We're going to start off going through our experience with the game, so Stephen.
I really enjoyed Pokemon X. I'm going with X here, considering that was my first version of it that I played. I have played through Y, but in general, I was really happy with the experience of it, even though it does feel a bit more shallow in comparison to previous games, mainly due to post-game content.
Fair one. We'll get to that more when we get to the actual post-game, I guess. But Chris, have you played Gen 6 at all, mate?
No, not really. I'm basically fresh to this.
Alright. Because I remember we were saying when we were deciding what games to do next, you said, we'll do one that I haven't done, and I'll go through it blind, and we decided on this, and I wasn't sure whether you'd seen anything of it since, or is this just like a complete watching the Pokemon experience again for the first time sort of thing?
Alright, yeah, sort of, basically.
Yeah, because Gen 6 is where they sort of, it was a, I guess, transitional kind of thing, I think, compared to the 2D style that they had in up before Gen 5 and whatnot. And then 7 obviously kind of built on top of this. A bit poor in my opinion, but
I think you're mainly saying that due to how slow the beginning of Gen 7 is, and admittedly it is a pretty slow start, but once it gets into it, there's far more in Sun and Moon than X and Y.
Sun and Moon do pick up a lot, admittedly. It's just the first 7 hours of that.
Plus, the overall region is more interesting than X and Y, which we will get into later.
I don't know, I quite like Kalos a lot, actually. I know why people don't, in the fact that it's kind of a bit of a safe region, and Lumio City it's the centerpiece for better or worse.
Yeah.
But, I kind of preferred this over the Alolan Islands.
I don't know, I mean, we'll find out later that the overall path in X and Y it feels very linear, and I've just noticed that Serena is holding a Pikachu 3DS.
Yes, I love that. It's like a subtle little thing, but I like it.
I never noticed that.
I don't know whether the boy character has a different model of it or not, but that is pretty cool. But yes, the character designs in this, I think Callum, the male character, he's generic Pokemon trainer kind of design, really, and he is nothing special.
Yeah.
Serena's kind of cool. I like her design.
Yeah, but I think that's the reason her design's more appealing is partly because this is used for the anime. So
yeah.
They probably had to come up with something a bit better than the male character.
Well, there's the male character on the left
Yeah.
there. He is pretty much the generic kind of thing. Really,
Yeah,
isn't
without his hat, he looks really weird.
Oh yeah, he does, but
It looks empty, almost.
that's kind of the thing with Pokemon protagonists in general, isn't it? They are defined by their hats to a certain degree. Except for maybe Brendan from Gen 3, because that's his hair in it, or is that a hat? I'm never quite sure about that.
That is a hat, if I recall now.
Cause, it's weird because he's got the bandana sort of thing, hasn't he?
Yeah.
But yes, this is a bit of context for the family here, because our character's mother's a Raihong racer kind of thing, which is okay, interesting.
And we will never hear about that ever again unless you watch the anime.
Oh, yeah.
In which case it's only brought up a few times.
Which I've only really seen a few bits and pieces of the XY anime, which I think it was because Best Wishes kind of killed my interest in the anime quite a lot, and I just didn't really pick back up to start with. Like, how was that overall?
Well, I fell in and out of it, but it was okay. It was definitely better than the end of Unova.
Well, that's saying nothing.
Yeah, obviously.
Like, Unova was shit, and then the Decalore Island stuff was just sort of boring.
The main thing that always irritates me about the black and white anime is the fact that it starts off by making Zekrom appear very important by electrocuting Pikachu, and that is the last you ever see of Zekrom. From the first episode to the end, you never see him again.
Well, he was in one of the Victini films, wasn't he?
Yeah, but that's non-canon, so...
Yeah, but still.
And the fact that Ash never recognises Reshiram when he meets it in the anime, kind of.
Well, to be fair, they are very inconsistent with how canon the films actually are, aren't they? 'Cause, like, I think there's been a few little nods to things from the films, and the films kind of have their own canon, don't they?
I mean, the Mewtwo film is canon.
Yeah, but that's sort of justified by the fact that technically, like, they had their memories wiped, didn't they? And, like, there was a little nod to that when they did the Mirage special on that, of, like, the Mewtwo in that went through, like, all of Ash's memories from the films, but didn't show that, which, you know, because that technically isn't there. Yeah, Chris, you got a favourite Pokemon film, mate?
I've only really seen, I think, the Mewtwo one. I think that's it. I don't even think I've seen... Or I've seen it's been too long ago anyway. So.
Yeah, fair one. My favourite, I've said this before, I will continue saying it, it's Pokémon 2000. That is like my favourite film. I'd say a very, very close second is actually the Lucario film.
Oh.
Because that film, like, that just does a lot right. Yeah, if I'm jumping back to the game here, because this is where stuff actually starts happening, so we should probably actually acknowledge this. This is our, like, little team for the game. Like, these are our friendship group, our rivals, like, however you want to approach them. But yeah, they're trying to give us a nickname, and it's going about as cringy as you might expect.
Yeah, and they can all be defined by nerd, energetic, and girl.
Basically, yeah.
That is it. That's all they are. I can't really remember their names. I mean, I'm going to try. I know the girl's called Shauna.
Yeah. This is my nickname that I'm making them call me, by the way. I am God.
Fair enough. So the one with the weird hairstyle, the large one, he's Tierno, I think?
Yes, he's obsessed with, like, Pokemon dancing and things like that. Yeah. And they're all, like, quite one note, I guess.
Yeah, and the nerd's called Trevor.
Yeah, he is just obsessed with building his Pokédex. But yes, we get 3 starters to pick from as per the norm. I am actually going to go with Chespin here. And I just felt like it, given that, like, in my first run, like, when I originally played Pokemon X, I picked Froakie. And, like, I actually have a Fennekin, because, like, toward the end of the game you can get one, can't you? Which I got in my X file, and I just thought, you know what, this time I'm gonna just use Chespin. I will actually, over the course of the game, I'll be rotating my team around quite a bit, and that includes trading in Pokemon from my other games, just so that, like, for the sake of making this playthrough a bit different to the ones that you've probably seen before, just so you kind of see some different Pokemon, because that is one... I guess you could say it's a flaw, although that's a bit subjective really, in that this game does handhold you a lot.
Yes.
Like, not as slowly as Sun and Moon do, but, like, it sort of just gives you a lot of things straight up, doesn't it? Like, and so I imagine a lot of people, when they play through Gen 6, will end up having basically the same team as everyone else. Because, like, they just give you a load of Pokemon. This isn't the only star we're going to get.
If I recall, this game gives you 4 Pokemon as gifts before or around the 4th gym. It's like up to that point.
Well, there's 3 that they just flat out give you, to my recollection. There were 4 on my original run, because if you remember when these games first came out, there was that sort of bonus offer, wasn't there, where you got a tool chick?
Yeah, that would be a 5th one then. So.
I can't think... Oh, I do know the other gift one, but I don't get that one because I don't need to use it. But,
okay.
But yes, first rival battle. Chris, thoughts on these 2 Pokemon designs?
Both cool. Froakies stands out probably the most now, actually. Like, I don't know, it's just a cool design, isn't it?
Froakie has a lot of character to him. Yeah. Like, Froakie's kind of cutesy, but seems like he's got that sort of, I guess, a little bit cocky look to it. It's kind of hard to define, but he's just very endearing. Chespin, I think he is actually an okay design. He's probably the least impressive to look at, but he can be quite useful. Also, this is probably the first time ever playing a Pokemon game where I'll get to the end without having my starter in the team. Just so you know, I'm gonna be switching a lot up. But we will still see all of Chespin's evolutionary line over the course of the game, so don't worry too much about that.
Overall, Chespin's design, the first time I saw it, I instantly thought of Oshawott.
How so?
The general shape is similar, and the face, slightly.
Maybe.
It just sort of felt like a bit of a grass-type version of Oshawott to me.
It doesn't evolve into some weird otter thing.
No, fortunately, Chespin and Froakie get great final evolutions. Fennekin, I think, came out with the short straw, unfortunately.
See, I like Pyrox. It's called Pyrox, isn't it?
No.
What is it called?
Delphox.
Delphox, that's the fucking one. Oh, well, I was thinking, Pyromaniac and all that shit.
There's Pyroar.
Oh, yeah, that's the lion one, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. No, but, I do like Delphox as a design. It feels not so much like a starter design, really, does it? It feels more like a... I don't know how best to describe it, really.
Yeah, it doesn't feel as special or unique as the other 2, in my opinion. I feel like there's something missing to the design.
Well, if you think about it, the final evolution of Chespin that I can't actually remember his name of.
Chestnut,
that's him. He's kind of bulky, and Greninja, he's very fast and he's very agile, whereas Delphox is it's a wizard. Cool.
Yeah, it's sort of the archetype of a mage, a warrior, and a thief.
Yeah, even though they're all 3 completely different things.
Yeah.
What a card? What kind of expression is that?
I don't really know. You never really hear it used at all. I like the fact that the Rhyhorn comes to say goodbye to you, and that's the last you will ever hear of that Rhyhorn.
Yeah, now I'm going back to my ignoring
It's
bed.
I have known you for all of 10 years. I know you will do great out there. I'll try to remember you. I'll probably catch a Rhyhorn of my own while I'm out there. Probably get a Rhyperia. I don't need you anymore.
and then Rhyhorn's sitting at home thinking, oh, Mum's fed me now, I can forget that other bitch.
Yeah. Right. I wonder when I'll evolve.
Well, it's called Rhyhorn racing, not Rhydon racing.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Do you suppose if it evolves partway through the race, they get disqualified?
Yeah, that's actually a point. Do they have a fucking terms for this? Although, thinking about it, you kind of fuck yourself over because trying to ride on the back of a Rhydon seems much less practical because it's human shape.
Yeah.
It's more like getting a piggyback than anything else.
Yeah, but I'd imagine that Rhydon would also run on all 4 legs if it was going full pelt.
Yeah, well, actually, yeah, because that would be how it does the most damage, wouldn't it? Because it's got the drill nose to it. So yeah, what about Rhyperia?
No, I don't think that goes for running anymore. It just flings stuff at you from a distance.
Yeah, that's like the old boy who doesn't want to do anything, so just throw shit at people and hope that works.
Yeah, but instead of flinging, it jams rocks into its palms and shoots you.
Yeah, poor fucking Geodude.
So it's just awful when it's a regular boulder flying at you, but the moment it's got fists flying towards you, you're really in danger.
That's until it picks up like a lowland Geodude that then electrocutes you.
Yep.
I'm still not sure exactly how I feel about a lowland Geodude. Like, Geodude itself, it's just got like the extra sort of bits on its head, and then like the golem just it looks sort of derpy, but I guess sort of endearingly so.
It's got a massive lead beard, I think. I think it's made of lead. And it's got a cannon on its back now.
Yeah, it's rock electric, isn't it?
Yes.
Or electric rock, one of the two.
I think it's rock electric.
Yeah, so it does kind of lose its electric resistance, which I kind of guess gimps it a little bit.
Yeah, it's no longer immune to electrical moves, but it is heavily resistant, so there's no point in even hitting it with electric moves still.
Yeah, true.
However, it's now got a 4 times weakness to ground moves.
That's a point. But yes, so our first proper wild encounter. Hi, Pidgey.
I think it is coded that you always fight a Pidgey first in this.
Maybe. I'm trying to think, because I had to do a few takes of this first part, because I had loaded like technical fuckery. I think it might have been. I'm trying to think. Like, it might have been just for that particular patch of grass, because I think there might have been one where I got through the patch of grass, and fittingly, after we do this, the next thing the game pushes you to do is a tutorial on how to catch a Pokemon.
I know, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. This is my first capture, so I'm going to use the Premier Ball.
So it's the first patch of grass. You'd think that the other lot that you're with might come up and give you the tutorial there. But considering it gives you the option to capture a Pokemon there and then without the assistance, it feels very unnecessary once you reach the next area.
Yeah, like we literally just had the Pokeball shop, didn't we, in that little town just there? So like, we know what we're doing, we know what we're buying. And like, that's one thing that I kind of think Pokemon does need to kind of think about, and the fact that it's not necessarily going to be someone's first time playing a Pokemon game, so let you skip the tutorials, because like Gen 2 did that. Gen 2, when you walk into like the first route and there's that guy who offers to show you how to catch a Pokemon, you can skip him. You can say, it's alright mate, I already know.
Yeah,
it should. At the beginning, it should be like, because you know at the beginning of Gen 3 when you're sort of on that, it's like that little screen thing that you've got at the beginning. It's like the professor talking to you from that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they could just give you the option of these tutorials there and then in the opening.
Yeah, they could do, like, just to have you played the Pokemon game before kind of thing. Because like some games do that, and like it's just it makes it less tedious to replay a game, you know. I think Black and White 2 let you skip a bunch of things, didn't they?
Maybe. It's been a long time since I played it, so...
Yeah, I never actually finished White 2. Like, I got a little way into it, and I don't know, I just got a little bit distracted from it, but Sean was amazed by the fact that it went inside the Pokeball. Like, how long have you lived in this world?
Yeah, it's kind of what everything runs off of.
Yeah.
So,
like, you go talk to literally any other person in this entire region, the only things they ever talk about are Pokemon. Like, they have no other topic of conversation at all. How are you unaware of how this works?
Lived inside for years with no telly or something.
Yeah, she's like shut in. What do I do? Oh, I just play games all the time.
she just sat in place waiting until she was 10 years old, until she was allowed to go outside.
Yeah.
Her parents are just like, yeah, you're no longer our responsibility, fuck off.
But yes, this is this region's Pidgey equivalent, so now we're getting this. I quite like Fletchling. Its evolutions are actually part fire type, which is quite useful.
Yep.
And I'm glad about that, because up until I get a certain other Pokemon, this will be quite useful to me.
So, I like Fletchling's design. Early on I didn't think much of it, but it does what it needs to. It's cute.
It
reminds me of a Robin.
Yeah.
That's kind of what they're going
Based
for
on-
here.
I do like that his eye is also sort of a design of a bird, but backwards. So.
Yeah, it's like the speed up stripe, but for birds. So that's how stripes work on it. They make your car go faster.
Yeah, of course. If you want to continue to believe that, I'm not going to shatter your reality.
I would like to point out something that just happened that makes this game so much more accessible on the whole. I just caught this Pokemon rather than beating it, but I still got experience. And that is just a much welcomed change in my opinion.
Very much.
Because, you know, if you are just going around trying to catch a load of Pokemon, it does get tedious the fact that you then have to do a load of other battles that you want to win on top of that. So to kind of have it sort of double up, then, you know, it speeds things up a little bit. And we'll get another tool later on down the line that speeds it up even more. That's a bit more divisive, but we'll talk about that more when we actually get it, I reckon. But for the time being, Zigzagoon, he of Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire and Emerald early game wonders, he shows up here, he does what he does.
Yeah, he's fodder.
Basically. Like, what I think of primarily when I think of Zigzagoon is not actually, you know, the mainline Gen 3 games that he originated in. I think of Ryder Willy from the start of Pokemon Colosseum, he's the first battle, the guy with pink hair, and he just has 2 Zigzagoon and that's his team. I actually played Colosseum before I played Ruby Sapphire, so like that was my first introduction to Zigzagoon. But yeah, that's another guy down. I am going to be a little bit more liberal with what I show off compared to some of the previous Pokemon runs, just because, you know, we're going to be seeing all the different wonders of Kalos, and there's a lot of new designs that we haven't seen in previous playthroughs.
I like the fact that kid says, I better heal my Pokemon first before I continue. He stays there the rest of the entire game, doesn't do anything for his Pokemon.
Yeah, it might heal them eventually.
Yeah. But my mum's probably waiting for me at home.
Like, you've had a whole adventure, but this kid ain't gone home for dinner yet.
Yeah.
But yes, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next time when we go on to the Santaloon Forest. Bye bye for now.